Hello again. Now, the ANC is getting up for its 110th birthday celebrations at the Peter Mokaba Stadium in Polokwane, Limpopo province. Party President Matlala Setlhalogile will deliver his fifth statement. This comes as several party leaders have been implicated in corruption. And in the last local government elections, the ANC lost major metros. To discuss the significance of this coming statement, I'm joined now by political analyst Matlala Setlhalogile from the Wits School of Governance. Matlala, good afternoon. Thank you very much for your time. Historically, as I was looking back at these January 8 statements, I remembered that the very first one under the current form, where it became regular on the 8th of January, was delivered by O.R. Tambo way back in 1972. That's exactly half a decade, half a century rather. 50 years ago, in 1972, on the 8th of January, O.R. Tambo delivered the very first type of January 8 statement that has become a tradition in the ANC as a rallying call for the upcoming year. And they always end it with the theme that this is the year off. Now, it's 110 years now, this coming weekend, but the country's in a different place. The ANC is in government. It's been in government in the country since 1994, and currently things are not looking good. What would the significance be of this particular statement of an organization that's 110 years old?
Thanks, President. I think firstly it's important to note that the significance of the January 8 statement, in as far as the ANC is concerned currently, it's merely to conform to tradition. It is an established tradition that the ANC, on the 8th of January each and every year, celebrates their anniversary. Look, initially, as you indicated, that the January 8 statement was meant to detail the plans that lie ahead, that the ANC intends to achieve. Of late, especially over the past few decades, since the ANC has been in government, the significance has rather declined. And this decline can be attributed to the fact that the ANC has failed to transform or its intentions that they detail in the January 8 statement into concrete actions. Look, before each and every year, before the January 8 statement is tabled by the president of the ANC at the time, the NEC sits. That sitting of the ANC could be equated to a strategic session of the ANC for that year. This session involves the ANC diagnosing the current state of our society, detailing what needs to be done, how it needs to be done, and the time frame within which it needs to be done. While this is the case, the ANC has excelled in theorizing the challenges of the country and identifying them. It has failed significantly to address the challenges that face our society in this contemporary era. Hence, I believe that the significance of the January 8 statement, especially from those who are not members of the ANC or supporters of the ANC, has declined over the years.
Yeah, and when you look at the messages that have come from the different January 8 statements, it's always been about mobilizing its internal structures. And currently, it's coming at a time when there's been so much factionalization. You have an organization that for the first time in its history has a suspended Secretary General who's facing fraud charges in court. I mean, that's the engine room of the organization, the Secretary General's office. It's like the CEO, so to speak, if not the COO, if you're looking at a company. So this particular statement is also coming at a very critical time in terms of the organization's own cohesiveness.
Brother, I think earlier the ANC had a purpose to unite. Currently, while the ANC calls for unity, there's no purpose or a single purpose for which the ANC should unite. We could view the ANC as a federation of factions. Factions that have different interests. Theirs is to rally under the umbrella of the ANC merely because the ANC offers the vehicle through which state power could be accessed. Besides the prospects of gaining access to state machinery via the ANC, many of the different factions within the party do not really have any specific purpose to be united.
So if you have a federation of factions, it must be tough to be a leader there. What kind of qualities then would the ANC have to find in this 110th year of its existence in its leader, right, and leaders, right from the president, as it also is building up towards yet another national elective conference in December?
I think firstly, the current leadership of the ANC, especially those who position themselves as reformers when the ANC approached its 2017 conference, need to be bold. The ANC will require bold and decisive leadership to renew itself, to reinvent itself as a governing party, to cultivate or calcate that culture of moral regeneration within the party. The reality is that the value system of the ANC has collapsed. And for that value system to be rebuilt is going to take some doing. And it can never be rebuilt when there's still opposition from within that very party. And I think I need to make it clear that even though some within the ANC had positioned themselves as reformers leading to the 2017 Nazareth conference, there's no demons and angels within the ANC. There's only people who are tainted, but the degree to which are tainted vary, and sometimes they do vary greatly. The blame lies with all those within the ANC for the mess that the ANC finds itself. And I believe that the rot in the ANC was led to pervade the party for so long. I do not believe that it's possible currently to reverse it in time for the ANC to remain in power for the next two general elections.
Wow. You know, when you said the first words in answering this question and you're talking about to renew itself, I was wondering, is it possible? As you were saying, the values have now been eroded. And I mean, how do you renew such a party, organization that's been around for 110 years, that's been going through a lot of different types of existences and stuff like that, from the liberation movement, as you said, had a sole purpose of defeating the apartheid regime. And is it possible, Matlala, I'm just in your analysis, that you can renew something like this? Sometimes it looks like the roots are there, the foundation is there, 110 years old is a given, yes, and we've destroyed the apartheid regime, we brought democracy, we're part of the liberation movement, but the rest of it is falling apart. I mean, is it really worth even trying to renew?
Look, the ANC can be renewed, but the challenge here is the time frame within which it can be renewed. And I do not believe that the ANC will be renewed while still in power. As I indicated earlier, that access to state power ensures that the ANC continues to survive, especially when people join the ANC, not necessarily because they believe in the ideals and the principles of the party, but because of what the party can offer them.
Is the access to these big monies and access to all kinds of resources through those positions? That's what they are getting. Is that the point you are making?
That's what I'm getting at. That's the only thing that currently unites the different factions within the party.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting, Matlala, as we conclude. what the ANC is going to declare for itself, what this year is, in terms of that they've been doing traditionally. It's just a tradition they've been going through, and then they say it's a year of this and this. And this year, I think there was a dedication to Charlotte Maxeke as well as part of that theme. Simply, I'm saying this simply because it's building up to that National Elective Conference. You have a challenge, as you've said, of leadership, as you have put it. Just going to be interesting. What would you, when you're reading and analyzing that statement that was going to be delivered on behalf of the National Executive Committee of the ANC by its president, Matlala Setlhalogile, what would you be looking out for that just might give you a different sense about the road ahead for the ANC?
Firstly, the ANC will have to re-engineer itself in terms of the kind of leaders and the kind of, or the caliber of people it deploys into the state. I think state capability or state capacity is one of the things that actually has made the ANC not to be able to achieve a lot of the things that it set out to achieve. There's poor policy management within the ANC. Yes, there's several factors that contribute to that. But the capacity of the state is one of those things. And for that to happen, the quality of the members of the ANC itself have to improve. Look, in terms of what to prioritize, I think the midterm strategic framework 2019 to 2024 already outlines the 7 apex priorities for the government. And I believe that the ANC January statement will build on what is already outlined in that midterm strategic framework.
Okay, Matlala, it's a pleasure talking to you. I welcome your insights. I would like to unpack that January 8th statement with you, hopefully after it's been delivered next week sometime. Political analyst there from the Wits School of Governance, Matlala Setlhalogile.